This is a little deviation from our regular format and our regular programming, but we thought it was necessary to address some online accusations that followed Tamika's Grammy performance, which was excellent, by the way.
Phenomenal, I think.
So we wanted to come out and address these issues. A lot of people have been asking for statements, and we just want to oblige.
From my perspective, I want to make sure that as a mother, that I speak directly to Miss Rice, and also just so that folks know, I have reached out through some other individuals. I don't have a direct contact for Miss Rice, but I have reached out and let some other folks know that if she wants to speak with me, I'm available to do so. Unfortunately, the world we live in, everything hits social media so quickly, and it doesn't give us an opportunity all the time to have direct conversations. And I have seen a lot of you who've been asking me to do what I always do, which is to be authentic and to come to you all and talk about some of what you have heard. I want to just make sure that we start off grounded in the fact that nothing we say today is an attack against Miss Rice. I want to make sure that that is stated from the very, very beginning. Quite frankly, Miss Rice is right. I support 100% how she feels and what she has stated in terms of her pain related to her son. Right?
100%.
I 100%. And in fact, I think, and I was going to say to you, Mice, that I feel like we all have failed her. I was thinking a lot about this coming here
I said
today.
that yesterday. Yep.
We all have failed her as a nation. I think that whenever a child or any person, but particularly a child, is killed, this nation should have erupted. And the fact that she did not get the proper justice for her son would make anyone angry. And so I totally understand and respect the trauma and pain that she feels as a mother. The second point is that I think for far too long, the issue of divisiveness has been used in every single movement, and it has actually destroyed movements. And I don't participate in it. If you know anything about me, and you guys get to see me up close and personal, we're on lives, we go into communities, we work with people directly, we're on the ground. And so you have an opportunity to see me up close and personal. And the one thing that I try my best not to do is to get caught up in the divisiveness that I know can happen in this movement. So again, if people are watching, looking for some aha moment of me speaking negatively about or to Miss Rice, it's not going to happen. I will never, ever allow my organization, my team at Until Freedom, or myself to be used as a tool in the master's box. I will never allow that. So if that's what you're looking for, you might as well turn away, because it's not going to happen. I will, however, say that I think it's important to clarify the questions around whether or not we have used Miss Rice's child, her baby, in campaigns or in speeches or fundraising or any of those types of efforts. We have not. My speeches, my son's speeches, and the work that we do, it's very, very public. You all can go back and look through speeches, look through my page. I encourage you to do so. Other than potentially calling the roll of all the people that we can think about at any particular time who have been killed by the state, I have been very, very careful, have always been careful not to speak about cases or individuals that I have not worked directly with the families. And in particular, in this situation, which Ms. Rice has already said, we've never even met. If we have, It has been something like maybe at a conference, I may have been introduced, or we may have seen each other in that way, but we've never actually sat down, had a phone conversation, or met in any way. And so therefore, I would never be so disrespectful as to speak about her child, or to have a campaign that addresses her child, or that uses her child's name to uplift any cause. And so I think that's really, really important to state. To that end, I guess, Ms. Rice has said that she wants me to, not speak of her child. And while I may not have been doing it in the past, I will be very, very, very careful going forward to ensure that I respect her wishes. I think we both can say that, we will be very careful to respect her wishes, even if we feel that we're using all the names in order to make a bigger point. We will be very, very, very careful not to disrespect her wishes. Now, although what Ms. Rice has said, calling me out my name and speaking about me without knowing me, has absolutely hurt. It definitely hurt me. But again, I understand. And because of the fact that I do this work, that we do this work from a very, very, very sincere and authentic place, I may not have lost a child, but I did lose my child's father, and it wasn't to police brutality, but I understand loss. And I also want to, and I fight every single day to ensure that I don't have to experience what so many mothers of young Black men have experienced. And so I do come from a personal perspective, although I have not lost a child. And because I understand that pain and trauma working with families for so many years, I would like to tell Ms. Rice today that I am available to be supportive. If necessary, I'm here for phone calls. I'm here to have any types of conversations with any family that would like to reach out and talk about the death of their child, or some tragic situation that has happened to them. We're just one small group, right? There are many organizations doing great work. But until freedom is one group, we can't help every family. We wish we could. But we don't have the resources to help every family. And there certainly are situations that have been heartbreaking, that have kept us up at night, that we have not been able to get involved with. But again, just to reiterate, under no circumstances would we ever be so disrespectful as to use the name of a person, child or otherwise, that we have not met, work with, and talk with their family, and have not been directly asked to uplift their child's name or their family member's name while we are out doing our work. I don't know if you want to have a response to that, because I have some other things I want to say.
Pretty much, so when Miss Rice lost her son, I remember it was the year 2014, and I just entered into the space of activism, and I remember it hitting the world hard, and I wanted to see justice for him, so I understand how she must feel as being his mother, so her sentiments are felt just from being a human being, so when I heard her sentence, I didn't take it personal, but what I did take personal was the attacks of the media, of people that I've known for years, of people that have been around us for years, of people who had direct contact to us, who've seen the work that we've done. I did personalize those things. I never thought about Miss Rice in any way. The work that we've done, I've done for the last 8 years, and you've done for 25 years, has spoken for itself. There has been this quote unquote fake activism, and I ask, what is real activism? If going out, standing by families who have asked you to stand with them, uplifting the voices of the people who have lost their lives, standing in communities and taking guns out of hands of kids who are killing each other, going in communities, starting programs and organizing in different communities to bring peace treaties. If that's not real activism, then what is real activism? When I looked at the media, I was disgusted because they highlighted the trauma and pain of a woman who lost her child, but they didn't highlight when she was telling them to get justice for her child.
Many
Many of them did not. They didn't post any of the posts when she was saying we want justice for our child, but they decided to post as she poured pain and trauma and talked about her opinions, because we're all entitled to our opinions. Her opinion of me, her opinion of you, is valid for her. But you can have your own opinions, but people don't get the opportunity or the right to make those opinions facts. Like she said, I would never, as a man of principle and integrity, I would never utilize the name of anyone, not just a person who's lost their life, but of anyone that I didn't have any connection to or prior commitment from, to raise any money or to catapult myself in any manner. You know, I live my life on the level of integrity, and those things actually bothered me, you know, and they were coming from people that I actually knew who've been attacking us for way before that, and they utilized this moment. You know, I want to say this about you. You know, I want to say that we were proud to see you on the Grammy stage. You know, not for the glitz and glamour, but the fact that you were up there talking truth to power. You called out the president and demanded that he give black people equity and justice in this world. And if we don't utilize those platforms, if we don't utilize every platform, we can't keep screaming from our soapbox about what we need. We can't keep going to the same communities that are impoverished and telling them that we need something to change. We have to be able to speak to 80 million and 10 million people. I'm going to advocate every time I can on every platform that we stop police brutality, that we stop mass incarceration, that we stop gun violence in our communities. Every opportunity, and I don't care how people think about that. You know, people, they asked you to go to the Grammys because you have made one of the biggest speeches of this era. They wanted somebody to deliver a message, and you have made one of the biggest speeches of this era, and you do not have to apologize for that. You do not have to apologize because you have done the work. For 25 years, you have done the work, and you don't have to be sad, and you shouldn't be attacked because you have done work that has put you in a position to be able to speak.
In terms of people saying that we are using the names of children or that we're clout chasing, as they say, I wanted to be clear that if anyone, especially when you talk about the media, when you say, well, you know, these folks have not necessarily been there to support Miss Rice's family in the ways in which they should, it's important to also challenge the media to do real work and real research, right?
Vet information.
And because we put stories out into the world without actually doing the research. If you actually talk to families that I have worked with for 25 years and that we have been working with since my son, Linda, Angelo, and I came together to form Until Freedom, you will not hear, and I am 100% sure of that you will not hear sentiments like we are clout chasing and we use their children. You will not hear that.
Never.
Many of those families have reached out to me over the last few days to check in and to offer their support. So when you think of folks like Trayvon Martin, you think of Shakisha Clemens, you think of Joe Guzman and Sean Bell, you think of Breonna Taylor, of course. You think of the family of Ramarley Graham, Sandra Bland, Jordan Davis. These are individuals that I've actually worked very closely with and that our organization has been supportive of, especially in the case of Breonna Taylor and, of course, George Floyd's family. These individuals, if you actually do your work as a journalist and you speak with them to find out what or to ask them about our character and our work ethic, I can promise you that all of the individuals that I just named are people who will tell you that we still stay in contact. I'm thinking about Christopher Lloyd Morgan Jr., who was a 4-year-old child that I helped to bury some years ago. We still speak to these families on a regular basis. We still are very much so a part of their families, and we work together. We invite them to come out and be a part of activities that we're doing. We work with these individuals and try to support them all the way through. And guess what? They support us as well. So it's important for people who are looking for ways to just jump in on the attacks that you do some real homework. I wrote down some points because I wanted to make sure to keep it, really tight and short. There's several misconceptions that I think need to be stated on the record today. Listen to Street Politicians on the Black Effect Network on iHeartRadio.
And catch us for the video version of Street Politicians on iWomen.tv.